Well, no, I don't believe we're alone. I believe there are possibly other beings in other dimensions. On the spiritual side of things, I believe there probably is a God who created the universe. And if you want to call angels aliens or demons aliens, I suppose you could. So it all boils down in the end to a matter of faith. How much faith do you have to believe there is a God or believe there are aliens?
Yeah, I disagree with you. I don't think it's a matter of faith. It is a matter of scientifically searching out. I think people like Moon probably would be, in my view, a little more towards faith. But one thing that has to be remembered is we look at SETI. We say, why haven't anybody contacted? Why haven't we reached radio waves, extraterrestrial radio waves? One matter is radio waves are a relatively primitive form of communication. And, in fact, SETI may be looking for the wrong thing. We don't know how communication systems develop. We have no possible way of imagining what they would be like in the human development 10,000 or 100,000 years from now. So what emanations from other planets would be like, from other alien civilizations, we can't begin to imagine, and that's part of the whole problem here.
So exactly because radio wave is not the best way to do the calling out for aliens, then that's why they use it, because the whole SETI thing is, to our point of view, it's a smoke screen.
You know, one thing
they could use something better.
People do not realize that today, the astronomers today, when they're looking at the stars, they're not getting real-time information. They're watching the stars, and if it's 4.2 million light years away, they're only seeing the star as it was 4.2 million years ago. There are other forms of technology in this torsion physics I was telling you about, where there's real-time, by using torsion fields, real-time visibility of those stars. So that just goes to show how far behind the mainstream is, because so much of what we should know is being hidden. As I told you before in the last program, there's a media truth embargo, and it's caused this cognitive dissonance and cognitive incongruence with most of the academics. They just can't get the teeth around it. They don't want to get the teeth around it. They're secure in their jobs, and there's going to be a huge shake-up when this new paradigm finally enters.
Yeah, I have to confess, we're all hiding it. We all know the truth out here. No, come on.
No. Why don't you watch the Disclosure Project? If you guys took time to do the research, not just talk, do the research. Go and look at the Disclosure Project that was initiated by Dr. Stephen Greer in 2001. You'll see 400 military witnesses with security clearance who stand and swear, who prepare to swear before Congress that everything they tell you is the whole truth, and the whole of the tenets of our legal system is based on testimony. You're discounting human testimony. You're discounting testimony from people who have security clearance, who are in the military. You're discounting testimony from people who are working in the corporate black projects, who also have security clearance. You're also discounting...
Why are people hiding it?
Because there's an immediate truth embargo, because the elites of this world are controlling the energy. The energy is the fundamental key point to everything. They are milking us dry. You can see the whole world is collapsing around us. You can see the institutions, the Pope and all those pedophiles hiding in the Vatican. It's all coming to the surface. It's all being exposed. You can see the financial markets collapsing one after the other, yet the human mind does not look at the facts.
But why are they hiding it?
They are hiding it because we know the propulsion systems of these ET craft are using zero-point energy. It's energy. It's free. It's from the quantum vacuum of space. Okay, it's free energy. If we get free energy, we do not need centralized control.
Why are they hiding it? I don't understand.
They are hiding it because they're running the fossil fuel business. It's a multi-trillion-dollar business. And if you disclose the ET presence, which governments will never do, the ETs will choose when to disclose and how to disclose. They are hiding the fact that there is this zero-point energy, free energy, where we could all have desalinization of the sea. We'd have abundance of water. We'd move from a society of scarcity into a society of abundance, and they do not want it. The elites don't want it. The religious zealots don't want it.
Okay.
We're hiding it. Why are they hiding?
You're saying the aliens want to give us this technology. They want to help us, but there are people on Earth who are stopping this.
The Nordic forms of extraterrestrials, the human ones that look exactly like us, as testified by Bob Dean, when he was his command sergeant, Bob Dean, he was head of of NATO in the 60s. He saw a document called The Assessment, where they were absolutely terrified that some of these human-looking ETs were walking amongst us at the Pentagon, whilst others, of course, were a little bit different. So they are there. The positivists are giving us the messages of spirituality all the time. In the 50s, they came here and they gave us messages of spirituality. They warned us about the problems of nuclear. They warned us about the problems of the elites controlling the world and how this is all going to end up. and taking care of the planet. But, we don't listen. This is the problem, this cognitive dissonance. We do not want to listen to anything. Like we're prepared to listen to something stupid, like the Bible, where an angel came down and said this and said, yeah, we believe it. We're prepared to go and pray to a God with a small g. Of course, he's a creator. I'm talking about the God with a small g that we all believe in. We're prepared to believe, we can't see it, but we're not prepared to look at the facts that says the witness testimony, they are extraterrestrials.
Finally, Philip Hazley, I think you proposed that there should be a more academic study of ufology and UFOs. How would you deal with those statements, say, that Neil Gould has come up with? How would you approach those?
I think the most important thing that I would want to emphasize in an academic setting, first off, is that the nature of the UFO phenomena is not, contrary to what we've heard here, necessarily extraterrestrial. It may be, there may be other sources for it, or there may be multiple sources for it. I would very, very definitely support his contention that there certainly is evidence, and it comes from evidence of landings, it comes from radar reports, it comes from a variety of different sources. But I would not necessarily endorse that it is provably extraterrestrial. That's something which, I would, in an academic sense, have to address. Now, that's an assumption that's gone throughout this program that I've been sort of sitting here listening to and saying, well, you're more or less skirting over the very first assumption, which is that we're dealing with an extraterrestrial phenomena. And that's something in an academic sense I think you have to prove first. There are many possible explanations here, and they don't all involve creatures coming from other planets. Secondly, I think that we would, in an academic sense, have to attack to what degree, are we all, appreciating whatever this phenomenon is from the point of view of our own limitations as humans and the limitations our individual cultures give us. And that's something that also, I think, is reflected in Stephen Hawking's remarks. I think he's very much looking at it from the point of view of a somewhat paranoid American scientist, who basically is drawing parallels with past history on planet Earth that he really doesn't even understand himself very well. He's not a historian or an anthropologist. He's a physicist. A brilliant mind, yes, but he's no expert in history or anthropology.
Okay, good, Matthews. Should we leave this to the anthropologists, or should it be scientists? Should it be psychologists? Where do you think is the best way to explore this?
Well, at this point, it's beyond the imagination of any of us. I mean, what I would say if I were a policymaker is keep up SETI, investigate in any way you can, because we want to be in contact with whatever is out there, absolutely. But on the other hand, this is so far beyond what we can conceive of that I don't think, all of this, your earlier caller who was saying, or your emailer who was saying, hey, this is nonsense. In one sense, it's not. This is an important discussion. And on the other hand, though, we are entirely in the realm of stuff that we can't begin to imagine. This is going to happen, I think. Eventually, we will indeed be in contact with some entity out there, because it seems highly likely there is something out there, yet we cannot imagine what this is going to be. Now, Stephen Hawking's comment, I think, was salutary in the sense that we shouldn't automatically assume benevolence everywhere, but having said that, this is so far beyond what we can know. We should be ready for it. This is going to happen at some point. What this is going to consist of is beyond what we can comprehend.
Okay, Gordon Matthews, thanks for joining us. Thanks to Moonfung, Neil Gould, Stephen Hughes and Philip Hazley as well. Thank you all very much indeed for joining us this morning. Just a few minutes left of the programme.